And welcome back to the Couch Hutch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Gus.
And what did we play today?
Mysterium. Yay.
All right. So, Tommy, what's Mysterium about?
Well, it's about a team of psychic investigators who try to solve the murder of, in this case, me.
The ghost player, right? So one player is the ghost. Everyone else are the psychics. There are rules for two psychics. They're different than the rules for if you've got more than four people. So it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit more fun at a higher player count. But you're absolutely right. So you're the ghost player in this case, and you're trying to communicate with the psychics
on who, what, or where the thing you're trying to find out is.
On the who. So the game starts off with a bunch of characters down here at the bottom that we have to. The red player has been assigned. So Tommy has his board where he's taken all the characters that we have. He's assigned them to colors representing the pawns. And in a two psychic game, we have to actually, each psychic plays with two character things. So we get basically double the chances. But Tommy has secretly done that. So he knows that the red player is this woman with the bonnet. And in this nursery room with the teddy bear, and the weapon that's associated with her, not necessarily that was used to kill him, is this clock, right? So Tommy has assigned those characters to us based on our setup, and then he flips the board back around. We don't get to see that, and then he starts trying to communicate with you can turn the board back around so we can see the rest of it. Trying to communicate with the psychics to explain who these people were and where they were and what sort of weapons were used. How does he do that, Gus?
Well, he gives us a dream.
He gives us a dream?
And then the psychics, which is us,
yeah,
they have to decide from that picture who, what,
or who, where, or with what that we're talking about, right? So, for instance, this card Tommy gave us at one point, and it was describing this room, or this location, right? So a lot of this is about how does Tommy think. So Tommy has given us a card with birds on it, and there's a stone thing here, and there's some crows in this card. So Gus and I, when we got to that point, decided that that's what he was talking about. And each of the cards are different, right? So if you give me the discarded cards, Tommy is through the course of the game, and the game lasts for 7 turns, and we either all win or we all lose, right?
And we kind of played a bit.
We kind of played a bit wrong. So here's another location clue that Tommy mapped to this outdoor area here, right? So on our first turn, we're all started down at the bottom of the mansion, and we have to guess our person. All right. So Tommy gives us each a clue card, one for each of our psychics, and then we guess and we vote. And we vote by taking our little tokens, we put them on the card we think it is. And Tommy's not allowed to talk. That's really important, right? Not allowed to talk at all through the game. So you've got this deck of cards, and the only way that you're communicating with the players is handing out the cards. And then we say, the red player thinks he's the policeman. Or, I'm sorry, the black player thinks he's the policeman. And Tommy does? Or for what?
yes or no.
Yes or no, right. So 2 knocks for no, 1 knock for yes. Right, so you're really taking this whole I'm not talking to heart there. Why don't you scoot in so that he can see you. So he's not allowed to talk. So you don't actually have to play it like that, but we did. So if we guess correctly, what happens?
Then you move on to this next thing.
You move on to the next level, which is the locations. So then on the next time we get our dreams, these 3 guys down at the bottom are still trying to guess the people because they say they got it wrong. And the black player is trying to guess the location. So the black player will get a dream card that matches to one of the locations, maybe. And then after that, what happens?
You move on again.
You move up to
the items.
The weapons, the items, the things that were possibly used to kill poor Thomas.
I don't see how this would
hit him over the head with a vase.
I see how the hammer would because you just used the backside of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But anyway, so we've got a person, a location, and a weapon. Does that sound familiar? Have we played another game that was like that?
Dixit. I mean,
Not Dixit, but Dixit's like it with the guessing clue exactly. So the who did it, where did they do it, and we have 7 turns for all of our players to get to the top to guess who the actual murderer was. Because by the time we've all guessed the right person, the right place, and the right weapon associated with our character, now it's time to figure out the ghost has got enough information. He's woke up enough to say, I know who the murderer is. And Tommy secretly picks one of these groups, right? So you take these cards. If I'm the chef in the outdoor thing with the hammer, we take those and we set those out, and the chef and the hammer and the outdoor thing go as one pile. And then Tommy draws 3 new green cards, plays them out. Actually, where did the one, did I give it back to you? Where did that crow one go? Let's just use this one. Oh, there it is. Right? So Tommy does his best with the cards that he has in his hand to describe who the actual murderer is amongst that now grouped people, place, and things.
This is kind of like a remake of Clue.
It's a little bit like Clue. It's got some Clue elements, right? Because it is
Like
a person.
you
Somebody died.
You need to figure out who the murderer is.
Right? But there's a ghost this time as opposed to just a dossier. So you have 7 turns to get to the top. If you get to the top, then you get to that final round, and Tommy gets to help us try to figure out who the actual murderer was. And he doesn't tell us that this is the place and this is the person and this is the weapon. We have to look at that grouping of cards and make that decision. It's a lot more frantic when there's 7 people, right? We played it where there were 6 psychics and 1 ghost last week. Okay, you can speak now because we're doing thank you. And there's a little bit of a mechanic of if you got the right answer, and you can vote on whether or not you think somebody else was giving the right answer, etc. And you got some more points, and those points let you do more things at the end of the game. But the core mechanics are the same. The cards are beautiful, and it's fun. And with 3 people, it really only lasted 20 minutes because we all kind of know how each other thinks. We did not win because we did not get all of our pawns to the top of the map by the end of the 7th hour.
But they just gave themselves a mulligan.
Yeah, we gave ourselves a mulligan so that we could try to do that last thing. The rules are a little confusing when there were only 2 psychics, so I'm not sure we did that part right. When there's 4 players, 3 or 4 players, it's a lot more straightforward, right? There's the right number of players, the right number of cards, right number of pawns. But that's it. So that's the game. I thought it was fun. So what did you think? What are your thoughts?
I liked it.
Well, what's your favorite part? What didn't you?
I think my favorite part is like the timer. Like you're just timed, like
Oh yeah, you're supposed to only have. I think this is a 1-minute timer
1 minute.
to guess for each round. So there's a time element. We didn't do that very consistently this time.
Yeah.
The cards are, since it's made by the same people that did Dixit, the cards are actually a lot like that. So it's
They're pretty.
But they're both pretty and abstract, right? So they don't necessarily do exactly what's on the cards. So some people choose colors to match, some people choose images that are on the card to match, and in the case of I think there were 4 cupcakes and something, and that was Tommy's idea of a car, so that meant the race car driver.
Yeah.
So it can get pretty weird. What about you? Thoughts?
Being the ghost is kind of pretty fun and kind of frustrating when the people are so close to thinking it, but then someone else that doesn't have that card says he thinks it's it.
He thinks so, yeah. So when we talk ourselves out of it, you're not allowed to say anything.
And I'm just like,
And the cards, I think it seems like it might be really hard to do because the cards aren't necessarily directly, like you're going to have to really think creatively about matching a card to a person if you don't have something exact. There are rules for mulligans. That's what these crows on the top of your board are for. So that if you don't like the card, the ghost doesn't like the cards he has, he can depending on the difficulty of the game that we've chosen to play, he can choose to discard all 7 of his initial hand and draw new cards in hopes to get a better match for what we're trying to do. And that's it. So maybe next time someone else can be the ghost.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I should try.
That can be all right. Maybe. All right, you ready to give it a score?
Yes.
All right.
3.
Give it a 3. Really?
Yeah.
All right. How about you?
3.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I think as well. I think I'll give it 9.
So Dad
I
liked
think
it a
we'll give
bit
it nine.
more than Clue.
I like it more than Clue because we don't have to worry about rolling dice to get the things. And Clue can end up being a little more adversarial, right? So if I'm really close to getting to that last room that I need,
Hey, I think it's you. Come on.
yeah, you dragged me across the map, so that was kind of irritating. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 3. It's a neat game, and I like it both at the higher player count. It's a little maybe too fast and too easy with just 3 of us. I think we have one more person. It might be more. It might be just the right speed. But yeah, I'll give it a 3. Give it 9 cabbages. Excellent. Anything else before we go?
No. Subscribe, like, hit that bell.
Leave a comment if you wish.
Eat plenty of cabbages, not us though.
Because as those cabbages weren't the murder weapon. That stick is.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.